Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat that like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, the MGTOW book collection part 2. Whether you're getting camel toe in Cambodia, banging babes in burqas in Turkey, or taking Polaroids of ladyboys in Thailand, Luca Vendetti has a series of books to make you live the dream. His new 3-booklet series includes How to Live on $500 a Month in Cambodia, Turkey, and Vietnam, in addition to his classic How to Retire on $200K in Southeast Asia. He also has the MGTOW book. Visit MGTOWbooks.com and use the promo code SANDMAN to get 10% off. Now available in 4 formats: PDF, Mobi for Kindle, EPUB, and text-to-speech MP3. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. Number 1, what was Joaquin laughing at? Oh, that's right. The younger Fortnite experts can't beat the first level of Contra. I had to stop making this video to play Contra level 1 and I passed it no problem. It starts getting harder after the first boss. That's where I lost all my lives. I used to be able to beat it as a kid without the cheat code. Today I can only get through the first 4 or 5 levels without it. I could never beat super ghouls and ghosts, and I would always have to restart at that level with the door. Moving on, DiCaprio looks like he's waiting for her to ripen. Either that or he's making a pre-order. Also remember that Leo was friends with Epstein and Diddy, so even this won't actually be taboo for him. I suspect that he's done some very unsavory things in his life, and it makes me wonder if he's going to get in trouble at some point. Number 3, this woman says that men don't look at women as human, and that most of us are rotten. Imagine if a man had said the same thing about a lady. But I suspect this is projection, and she's just saying this because men realize that most women are rotten. Accuse men of the very same thing women are guilty of. I wish her well in her lesbian voyage. Remember, there are 2 kinds of lesbians: the ones who love women and the ones that hate men. Up next, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this? For me, it looks like a giant Greta Thunberg baby when she turns 50. And by the looks of her, we seriously messed up by closing down all the mental hospitals. Electroshock therapy definitely needed. Maybe this is also the reason why you should only play tennis in all white. Looking at this, I now realize that blindness is not the worst thing that can happen to my eyes. Number 5, this guy appears to be lost in cuckland, as his wife dates other men because their marriage has gotten boring. Her husband even helps her pick her matches. Look at that guy's non-existent chin. It's probably larger than his T levels. Did years of suckling other man's schwing-schwangs make his chin disappear or something? The soy is definitely strong with this one, and you just know that this is going to be his throne. Moving on, here's the life cycle of male spaces. Women see men enjoying themselves, and then women demand that the spaces be inclusive and safe for all women. Then they demand privileges there. Men get annoyed and leave while women tell them to go and create their own spaces. So that's what men do, with great opposition from feminists, and the cycle starts all over again. Number 7, do Zoomer girls know what they'll look like when they get old one day with all those tattoos? I don't know, but they're literally having panic attacks about just turning 25. This is fairly accurate, except they need to have more facial tattoos and piercings, and these tattoos aren't nearly tacky enough. Most Zooms get the dumbest ink on their bodies. Even still, she looks like a crumpled up newspaper. Many Gen X women look like this right now. Up next, look what someone's teacher put on the wall. All the US presidents, and Trump is upside down with a clown face. You just know that that teacher won't be teaching unbiased lessons. Looks like Trump derangement syndrome is strong with this teacher. No matter who got elected, there'll be 2 clowns on that wall next year. Teachers shouldn't be allowed to push their politics in school and should be fired for doing this, or at the very least reprimanded. Number 9, we're living in an insane world where FEMA doesn't have enough money for hurricane victims because they spent all the money on illegal immigrants, probably to buy votes, while Americans were left with $750 if they were lucky. On top of that, they prevented ordinary people from helping people in hurricane damaged zones. They didn't want to look bad for not being able to help the people, so they stopped others from stepping in and doing their job for them. Moving on, in case you're wondering whose side the police are on in Europe, here's a bunch of them praying in a mosque. But this violates the principle of the separation between church and state, so they should be fired for that sort of behavior. They should also be tried for treason. Half those guys in the picture are wearing all white robes though, like it's turning into an all-white Diddy party. The police are doing it wrong and they need to put their butts in the air more. Number 11, what's the fastest way to calm a woman when she's angry? Wrong answers only. Mine is to tell her to calm down. It has the complete opposite, making her more angry and anxious. How about telling her you're starting to sound like your mother? Maybe ask her if she's on her period or something. How about you seem upset? Ironing the clothes and cleaning the house will make you feel a lot better. Up next, here's a picture of single moms when their kids turn 18 and the child support money stops coming in. Unless, of course, the kids go to college, then the courts will be happy to make the man pay until the kids are 21. In Canada, it's endless child support, and some guys are still paying for children that are 25 or 26 years old doing a master's or PhD program. I'm sure they'll find some more sneaky ways to extend that even further. Number 13, Rianne insinuates that guys have it easy while women have to deal with periods, pregnancy, and menopause. She makes it sound easy to be a man being ignored by everyone and everything around them. Unless you have wealth, status, and good looks, that is. You have to put in a massive amount of work to even be considered by a woman. If women have it so much harder, then why do men have higher self-deletion rates, lower life expectancy, and higher homelessness numbers? Yeah, we sure do have it easy. Moving on, this trans woman wants real people to call her pretty instead of having to resort to random people on the internet boosting her self-esteem. Maybe dude needs to grow some boobs first, and besides, fellas aren't usually called pretty. Also, why does he/she have the Eye of Horus painted on their face? Well, on the bright side, at least they aren't fat, even though they probably have a fat, chubby custard launcher in those pantaloons. Number 15, someone says that black men are consistently pulling in the most attractive women in the world. This one kind of looks fat to me, though. But it's not the fat that scares me, because I don't think that's a woman, judging by the huge baloney under that skirt. He's all yours, dude. Enjoy. Maybe you should have taken her swimming to shrink down her swing or something. Up next, continuing the trans theme, here's a book called How to Live with a Huge Penis by Michelle Obama. I guess they don't call him Big Mike for nothing. All Michelle has to do now is show one single picture of her pregnancies to get rid of all the rumors that she is a he, and yet there's nothing out there. I wonder why that is. Number 17, I may be old, but at least I got to see the world before it went to hell. I got to enjoy my childhood in the 80s with the best toys and cartoons, in the 90s with the best music and video games. I would walk downtown in Toronto on Yonge Street on Friday nights in safety and the city was clean. And there was little to no traffic in the 90s, and we had great films. Things seem to have peaked out somewhere around the 2000s, around the time the iPhone came out. After that, people began living online primarily. Moving on, these conservative Mormon women have convinced themselves that putting men's swing into their peace sleeve and not moving is not considered sex. And they even came up with a name for it. They call it soaking. They say that they're destroying their cooches in a God-honoring way. But the most important question to ask is, are they actually wearing their temple undergarments while they're doing this? They should, to protect themselves from evil, of course. Number 19, back in 1600, the church used to burn women for witchcraft, for doing much less. All it took was the magic thumb trick and they would start stacking the logs. The women that used to be burned were usually creating conflict and chaos in the village, though. I'll bet you there wasn't much tolerance for female drama back in 1600. Then again, the Salem witch trials began because a bunch of simps believed a bunch of false allegations started by a bunch of teenage girls. Up next, this woman ended her husband because he stopped eating her punini every night. But maybe instead of taking such drastic measures, she could have just checked her pH level instead. But in typical female behavior fashion, she blames him and says it's all his fault. Maybe he was just fasting for Ramadan or something. Also, for some reason, this study used to first be published where Tasha was actually a black woman. Number 21, Pamela Anderson, aged 57, is declared the most beautiful woman in the world after going makeup-free at a film festival. The government knows the feminist agenda has failed, so now they're trying to push that old single women are beautiful, so that men can marry them and support them so the government doesn't have to. Governments will be voted out of office if they don't support women financially, but that money has been spent on illegals instead. So they need men to step up and take some geriatric giner bullets for the team. Moving on, are women really letting their boyfriends bang their besties because they've been single for a long time, and because they're human beings with needs too? Some women do this to sort of help their boyfriends because he's a high-value man and they might be afraid of losing him. So giving him access to other women at the same time makes him stay with her because he's got a good deal. The bestie angle is probably just a cover story. Number 23, this woman wonders why history isn't her story. Well, that's because history is based on the Greek word historia. Apparently, not everyone and everything is about the patriarchy or the English language. Judging by her teeth, it looks like she's English. Either that or she's been doing some coal burning and forgot to put on her mouth guard. Anyway, when women build civilization and go to war, then they too can write the history books. Up next, this woman says that her husband didn't suspect that she was cheating on him, and that's exactly why their marriage failed. He failed her shit test because his love and trust for her created a blind spot. Do you know how insane this sounds? She's basically saying my husband trusted me, what a simp. If only he was 6'6", jacked, hung, and good looking, then she never would have left him. Number 25 and the last one is Donald Trump's daughter Ivanka. Looks like she really needed plastic surgery to fix her face. This just proves that getting a nose job is women's #1 return on investment, and for men it's getting a hair transplant. If we lived in a world where cosmetic surgery was banned, then most of the people in power today never would have been voted in. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.